विकसित भारत कार्यक्रम में प्रतिभाग करने हेतु समय निकाला। जैसा कि निर्देशित है, अब हम अपने पैनल डिस्कशंस प्रारंभ कर रहे हैं। आज हमारे 3 पैनल डिस्कशंस होने प्रस्तावित हैं। पहला टॉपिक है थ्राइविंग एंड सस्टेनेबल इकोनॉमी। दूसरा टॉपिक है इनोवेशन, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का प्रस्थान हो रहा है। आपकी उपस्थिति के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों से मेरा अनुरोध, कृपया अपना स्थान ग्रहण कर लें। कुछ ही क्षणों में हम कार्यक्रम के द्वितीय चरण में जाने वाले हैं। प्रथम पैनल डिस्कशन थ्राइविंग एंड सस्टेनेबल इकोनॉमी के लिए सर्वप्रथम मैं मॉडरेटर डॉक्टर रविकेश श्रीवास्तव को, जो कि वीसी हैं आईएमएस यूनिसन यूनिवर्सिटी के, मंच पर आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी। डॉक्टर रविकेश श्रीवास्तव। इसी क्रम में हम अपने प्रथम वक्ता डॉक्टर राम शर्मा, वीसी यूपीईएस यूनिवर्सिटी देहरादून को भी मंच पर आमंत्रित करते हैं। डॉक्टर रामकरण सिंह, वीसी इक्फाई यूनिवर्सिटी देहरादून, कृपया मंच पर पधारने का कष्ट करें। डॉक्टर के रवेरकर, डीन एंड पीजीएस रजिस्ट्रार, जीबीपी यूनिवर्सिटी। प्रोफेसर नीता बोरा शर्मा, पॉलिटिकल साइंस डिपार्टमेंट, कुमाऊं यूनिवर्सिटी। कृपया जोरदार तालियों से हमारे पैनल डिस्कशन स्पेशलिस्ट का स्वागत कीजिएगा। कुछ ही क्षणों में माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय के आगमन के उपरांत हम इस पैनल डिस्कशन का प्रारंभ करेंगे। हमारे प्रत्येक वक्ता के लिए 5 मिनट का समय निर्धारित किया गया है। दिए गए क्रम में मॉडरेटर के निर्देशों के अनुरूप प्रत्येक वक्ता 5 मिनट अपने व्याख्यान हमारे साथ साझा करेंगे। अंत में मॉडरेटर महोदय संपूर्ण व्याख्यान का एक संक्षिप्त विवरण देंगे। उस संक्षिप्त विवरण के उपरांत क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर सेशन होगा। आइए प्रारंभ करते हैं। हमारा प्रथम टॉपिक थ्राइविंग एंड सस्टेनेबल इकोनॉमी। हैंडिंग ओवर द पोडियम टू डॉक्टर रविकेश श्रीवास्तव।
गुड मॉर्निंग। महामहिम राज्यपाल जी एवं उपस्थित गण, कुलपति एवं शिक्षकगण। द फर्स्ट पैनल डिस्कशन थीम इज थ्राइविंग एंड सस्टेनेबल इकोनॉमी, एंड फॉर दिस वी हैव इन पैनल Dr. Ram Sharma, Vice Chancellor, UPS University Dehradun; Dr. Ramkaran Singh, Vice Chancellor, ICFI University Dehradun; Dr. Karan P. Raverkar, Dean PGS Registrar, GB Panth University; Professor Neeta Bora Sharma, Political Sciences Department, Kumaon University, Nainital. So we are going to start a brief presentation or discussion, 5 minutes each to each panelist. After that we'll conclude and then session will be open for Q&A. So can we start, Professor Ram?
Hello. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So the topic is thriving and sustainable economy, and I was thinking, what should I speak? And I mean, Indian economy is on the sweet spot of taking off, like the Prime Minister mentioned. We recently became $4 trillion economy, and in next 10 years or so we should be about $7 to $8 trillion economy, and by 2047 we should be about $30 trillion economy. By comparison, America today is about $17 trillion economy, and so on. So essentially, we should be amongst top 2 economies in the world. So economic front, of course, India's story is going on pretty well. The world is seeing what we are doing. However, because it is also thriving and sustainable, so I thought, what should be the kind of dimensions of such economic growth that India is seeing? And what kind of economic model that we as a nation could think of? Should we copy the capital model, the Western capital model, or should we have our kind of own model? Should we have GDP as the main criteria of economic growth, or like we discuss at least in Uttarakhand quite a bit, which is gross environmental produce, GEP should be a parameter, or like the way Bhutan does, gross happiness produce, should we consider happiness as well? Also, what are more important parameters of the economic growth? I mean, we are seeing the air quality in Delhi, for example, the water quality, the space, who owns the space? I mean, the Panch Mahabhut, that fundamentally it is air, water, Akash, Agni and Vayu, and I mean all of them. So what should be the dimension of economic growth towards these kinds of aspects or issues as well? Also, when it comes to GDP or a demand and supply based Western model of economy, it's a capitalistic model essentially, and who decides the value of a certain product or service in a capitalistic economy? For example, if we were to have only 2 people in the society, let's say an investment banker and a farmer, and as we know, investment bankers make a lot of money and farmers don't. Now, if there were only 2 people in the society, then who decides the value of the service that they are providing to each other? Whether farmer would need investment banker or whether investment banker would need a farmer, right? So those are the questions that, and this can be replicated to a lot of other areas as well. I mean, let's take up the example of, let's say, teachers. What's the role of the services that teachers provide in a society? And what do they get in return? I mean, money-wise, teachers may or may not get the kind of return that a capitalistic society might want, but even respect-wise, do we get that return? Which, I mean, at some point, at least our culture or society used to have. Now, also other dimensions of the model. For example, should we have socialistic, I mean, what are the social dimensions of economic growth? Whether it should be a collectivistic model like India, China, so to say, Eastern societies were, or they have been, or it should be an individualistic model like the way the Western societies have been. And what have been the cons of individualistic systems that the Western society sees today? For example, aging societies. Now, when the society ages, I was in Italy last week, and the population growth is negative. So, aged people are kind of increasing in the taxpayer base is decreasing. Social activities, that base is decreasing, and the dependents, they are increasing. Also, there is a lot of immigration, and economy is not doing well. Pandemic also was not too kind, and so on. So what kind of social dimension? And then that results into, for example, loneliness, mental health issues, homelessness. I mean, you would be surprised the kind of homeless people you see in America or even California. I mean, do we want those kinds of outcomes of an economic growth? Those are the questions that we need to kind of be cognizant of. Also, what should be the philosophical and spiritual model of such economic and sustainable growth? Mahabharata, for example, says one very interesting quote, and this quote is repeated again and again by Ved Vyas. And he says that I am shouting on top of my voice and telling the world that dharma lead to earth, calm and moksha. Right? And people keep chasing earth, calm, moksha may or may not be. But generally, if you keep the first thing right, then it kind of results into the other things also falling in place. And so also is the very strong spiritual philosophical basis of the entire kind of culture that we have is Ishopanishad kind of sums it up well. Tena tyaktena punjita. I mean, in the sense, no matter what economic growth we have, it cannot be sustainable unless we kind of consume with, so to say, some form of detachment, some form of tyag. I'm not kind of able to find an equivalent and strong word in English, and therefore I'm using this word. That unless we consume with tyag or detachment, economy cannot be sustainable, environment cannot be sustainable. Thank you.